How are we going, everyone? Well, it's that time of the year. As I mentioned to you a few times in the past, this orchard needed to be composted, and that's what we've done here. And I started spreading it out, and you can see before we stockpiled it in piles with the machine, and I've just been raking it out the last, the last day, this day today. I've got up to 5 rows, and I've done them about 1 metre wide, and you can't see the mulch underneath there, but what we've got going on is the original row was in the middle here, about 400 or 500 wide. The compost underneath here, now that I've spread out, is almost about 1 metre wide, and I'm trying to get it under the drip line of the trees. They're not overly wide at the moment, but they're nearing in, you know, about 1 metre and a bit. So each year, hopefully I can do it more often than per year, is put another layer on top and spread it out. And you can see it's going to start mounting up for me. Now, the most important thing here is not to leave it exposed for too long a period. It's been about 4 or 5 days in stockpiles that I've had them there, and now today I've spread it out, and it's vital now that I've spread it out that we get the mulch on top. And that's the same with anybody who's actually composting their garden. If you put a thin layer of compost and you let it dehydrate, it's going to go to waste. It's going to be rendered almost useless if you leave it there for a week, 2 weeks and on. Mine have been here 4 or 5 days in a stockpile, which sort of has bought me some grace period, meaning that the soil underneath, or the compost underneath, is still relatively moist. But after today, if I don't mulch it by tomorrow, yeah, I'm going to have to, well, even before tomorrow, folks, I'm going to be on the bloody hose. Hosing all this out, bring out the 200 metre hose and take my time and rehydrate everything. Here's another thing I want to show you with the mulch. This is a pile that I pulled apart. I've got it sitting there composting down. You can see the different colours in there. Now that's moist there, and that means it's been decomposing, so it's had some moisture go through it, and it's retained it down the bottom half of the actual mulch pile. So this is the straw that I'm talking about here. Now when I'm laying this straw out, some of it I've loosened up, you can see like that, and that needs to mat down, because with the high winds most of this will blow away. So as I hydrate this, and I have to do it by hand because I can't expect the rains to do it, as I hydrate this, I expect this to mat down and interlock itself as it has when it's first made like this into a bale. Now that's been sitting there forever and a day, and that's why it's nice and matted, and I want to achieve the same result in here. So avoiding breaking it up too much, you'll see there's piles like that in here everywhere. So I've got bits and pieces where they're all still intact in its compacted form, which is great because that's a good way to stop too much airflow getting through and dehydrating it, and that way it starts to decompose and it becomes a food source for, well, the life in the soil, and the trees will benefit. So if you haven't mulched your trees or your garden beds yet, folks, well, firstly, most importantly, is compost it. If you can get your hands on our planting mix, that's the ideal way, because you'll get everything you need in it in the one hit. But make sure you put your mulch straight over the top and hydrate the garden beds. We're getting ready for spring, folks, in our orchard and in our veggie garden. So in saying that, we've just launched 3 new workshops in the month of September. I think it's the 14th, 21st and 28th. They're 3 Saturdays in a row, basically. You can check it out on our website. If you want to come along and come and learn a heap of things about life in the soil and learn some great tips on how to have the most successful spring-summer veggie garden, well, book yourself a seat and come and see me on one of those 3 workshop dates. It's all on vasilisgarden.com. From me, Vasily, Maresi.